Hi guys, Darth Deuce here, back with another Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. Today, taking a look at a figure that's been out for a little while now, but I just got it relatively recently because I got it on sale. It is a figure from the Acolyte. It is Jedi Master Indara. I think the Acolyte figures, Black Series Acolyte figures, I think they're all right, to be honest. They're not like super high priority for me to buy. Like I'm sure they're not for many because a lot of people didn't like the show that much. I actually didn't hate the show, but there's definitely a lot I didn't love about it either. But the only figure I got from the wave right off the bat was Soul, and because he was my favored character out of all the ones that they put out for that wave. But I found Indara on the shelf for decently under retail, so I figured I'll pick her up because at worst, these figures at least make for decent Jedi just have on the shelf. And Indara is no exception there. As a representation of the character from the show, I think it does a good job, but also it's just a decent Jedi figure if you just want some Jedi for your collection. But taking a closer look, I think the head sculpt and face print is decent. I wouldn't say it's maybe 100% there likeness wise. It's pretty close though. It's pretty good. Obviously, there's a bit of glossiness there to that print. It's not too bad though. I do like the hair sculpt and the different strands of the hair are in flexible plastic, which is nice. And you've got the braid there in the back, and there is a bit of silver paint for the ties that she uses in her hair, which is nice. And her tunic there actually has a lot of pretty nice weathering all over it, which brings out the details of the tunic really well. Although in classic Black Series fashion, there's a bunch of weathering on the front, but not much on the back at all. The belt looks pretty nice with the dark brown to simulate the leather. The gold buckle's cool. You get a little silver detail. I think that's supposed to be your communicator. I'm not entirely sure though. Little splot for lightsaber hilt. The lower tunic again looks pretty good. There's a cut there to allow it to move for articulation, but it's pretty much out of the way anyways. Um, you know, sleeves, arms, pretty basic looking, but she does actually have her hand wrapped up on her right side and not her left, which is an interesting little feature or a little detail. Pants are extremely basic. It looks like they tried to maybe put a little bit of weathering on it, but it just kind of looks... I guess the point is maybe they're supposed to look a little stained and worn, so maybe it's actually not that bad. But yeah, it's... I think, Black Series has always struggled with consistency with weathering on their figures, and she's no exception, unfortunately. And the boots look nice. They're just in brown plastic there, but it's pretty still, they look good. Not a whole lot to talk about. Decently basic looking character, but still, I think looks fairly accurate to the show. In terms of articulation, she does have a dumbbell joint in the neck as well as at the base of the head, so it moves okay. Honestly, for two dumbbell joints, you really don't get nearly as much neck movement as you would expect. There's decent pivot there, rotations, just the up and down, you're not getting a ton. There's actually butterfly joints in there. They move okay for Black Series, which is nice. Then hinges at the shoulders, they move out. You can move them forward. They do kind of get caught on the top of her tunic there, but that is a flexible plastic, so they will move out the way. Single hinge at the elbow does bend past 90 and rotates. And then the left hand has a wrist rotation with an in and out hinge joint, and this one has rotation with an up and down hinge joint for your lightsaber poses. Although the hinge, you're not going to get a ton of articulation out of it because of how the sleeves go all the way up there and hinder the joint. Torso joint moves pretty good. Moving this, it actually looks like the brown from the paint of the belt maybe stained the figure. I don't know if that was intentional weathering or not. Goes down, rotate, pivot. Torso articulation is actually pretty decent for Black Series. Hip joints move out, don't really move back. They do have that newish hip joint cut, which instead of having a hip swivel, you do just have some rotation movement at the hip joint itself, which I don't mind for this figure because of the the simple pants. The cut there would really break up the sculpt and make it look kind of weird, so I do like that. Single hinges at the knees, they move 90, and they're pretty tight for some reason. There's actually a swivel cut at the boot, and then you have hinges at the ankles that move quite well, and rockers for ankle pivot. So the articulation is actually pretty half decent. I can't complain too much. It is definitely one of the better articulated figures, although there are still some hindrances. In terms of accessories, it doesn't come with a lot of stuff, but you do get to actually get a soft goods robe with the figure. I do like that all the Jedi figures in this wave came with soft goods robe. If they are Jedi that wears a robe, they should come with a robe every single time. I think that should be a case, but they still, on occasion, don't release figures with robes when they should, which is annoying. But it fits on her pretty well. It doesn't look too oversized or anything. It sits over her shoulders decently well once you get it situated. There is no functional hood. They did just stitch it down. You could, I guess, cut that and then I suppose use it, but I think it's way too massive and it's not shaped to be actually used as a hood, so it's not going to look good. So I don't think I recommend doing that, but you can if you want. Yeah, just getting it over her shoulders there. But otherwise, I think it looks nice. The material seems decent quality. And it actually, when you have the robe, it hides a lot of the inconsistencies of the weathering because you're fully covering the arms, you're fully covering the back, you don't see as much of the legs. So that's kind of nice, I guess. And maybe why they kind of cheapoed out on the weathering a bit. Then, of course, she does have to come with her lightsaber. Do have the nice green blade. The hilt is nicely sculpted and painted. I do like the bits of gold that are on there. Looks nice. You can remove the blade. The hilt can be pegged on her belt if you wish, like so. That looks pretty good. But of course, I'm going to be displaying her with her lightsaber. The blade does have a notch in the sculpt, so it can accommodate for the way the sculpt to the end of the hilt is, where the emitter's at. And she does hold the blade, the lightsaber, pretty well. It's a decent tight grip, but no problem putting her hand, which is nice. And looks pretty good. So not really too much else to talk about. We can do some quick comparison. Like I said, the only other figure from the wave I own is Soul, but here she is with Soul. And I think she looks pretty good. I like that she's a little shorter, as I think she's supposed to be. Not really too much else to compare her with, so I'll just leave it at Soul. But overall, I think she's a good figure. I am glad I got her on sale, though, because it definitely wasn't a must-have. So if you're interested in the figure, either like the character or just want another Jedi for the shelf, if you can get it on sale, which I imagine is a pretty high chance of doing so, I'd definitely recommend the pickup if you're interested. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know anything down in the comments below, and I'll see you all next video. May the Force be with you.